Welcome to the show where there is another school shooting happening in a potato state. In freaking Idaho, there was another school shooting this year. Stop with all the freaking school shootings. Okay? Stop it. We don't need to see a lot of people getting hurt, especially in Idaho. It happened yesterday. There was a school, it would happen on Friday or Thursday. There was a school shooting in Idaho. A school shooting. A teacher disarmed that student. Way to go. And if you were to look at that school shooting, you would find that it started by a 6th grader. But there's more. A 6th grade girl brought a gun to school. And it happened on Thursday. It happened a couple days ago. This was a 6th grader who's a juvenile. Let me tell you, if you're at the age of 18, you are a juvenile. No excuses. 2 students and 1 adult. The 1 adult was a janitor. 3 people were injured. None were shot. It happened because, here's what happened. The 6th grader removed a handgun from her backpack and began firing us up to 9 a.m. The sheriff's office said at the press conference 2 people were shot in a school hallway before she moved outside, and another person was shot. The teacher disarmed the girl and held until the police arrived. And there was a 6th grader, but we don't know who was the shooter. That shooter was a 6th grader. No one has given the details. And that 6th grader was in custody at a juvenile hall. And if you're under the age of 18, jail's not the type of place for children. Juvenile hall. But we don't know. All schools will be closed to provide a response to the shooting. Counselors will be available at school throughout the day. But why can't we stop why do we have to do all these shootings? I mean, first Columbine, this was the very first school shooting that happened. This was the very first school shooting. 1700, the first school shooting. That was the earliest. 1764, that was the very first school shooting. 1800s, 1940s. 1996, 1997, a lot of all these school shootings. My question is, why did the 6th grader bring a handgun to school when they know every school has a weapon policy? No knives, guns, any weapons are prohibited on school grounds. If they found out if there was any weapons, your child will be under arrest by the school district. The school district will arrest your child and they'll take him either to jail or juvenile hall. Parents will be called in, and then after that, they're going to find out why would they do that, and then you'll be charged with possession of a gun on school grounds. That's the charge. But what about the statistics? When it comes to how American children are exposed to gun violence, gunfire at schools is just the tip of the iceberg. Every year, more than 3,000 children and teens are shot and killed, and 15,000 more are shot and injured. An estimated 3 million children in the U.S. are exposed to shootings per year. There needs to be tougher restrictions. We need to have metal detectors. We need to make sure our students don't bring guns to school. To do that, we have to have every school officer search their child's backpacks. That's what I think needs to happen. You don't think that's what needs to happen? Well, do you want your child to be dead? But what's going to happen after the incident in Idaho? What's President Biden going to do? They're going to allow students, are they going to have, is the government going to sit there and say, hey, we should allow teachers to bring guns in case stuff like this happens? There are laws. And there's even children who were arrested. Who were caught by the police or teachers for bringing guns to school. And people have been arrested. And there's even more articles about that. Look at that when we come back. So far in the show, we've been talking about the recent shooting in Idaho. And there was another school. We've been talking about children bringing guns to school. That's what we're talking about. This comes after the very latest, after a 6th grader on Thursday brought a handgun to school and wounded 3 people. Two of them were students. One of them was a school employee, a janitor. But what needs to happen is we need to set restrictions. We need to either arm teachers or build a police station. That's what happened here in the Bluff with all the school shootings that are happening. We need to build a school police station here like the one that CCISD has. Every school should do that. In fact, it should be mandated. But this just comes the very latest. Just today, a bus driver was arrested after finding a child's loaded gun on the school bus. The police arrested a school bus driver on Friday after students found a loaded gun on a school bus. This bus driver was charged with reckless endangerment of a child, improper storage of a firearm near a minor, intimidation of a witness, juror, court official, and carrying a firearm on campus. It was a .45 caliber Smith & Wesson. It was confiscated at his home Friday. It was loaded with 7 rounds, but did not have a round in the chamber. It was at 8:30. The police were contacted. Investigation began. But the police notified school officials. Police interviewed witnesses. After that, the gun was found on the scene in the back of the bus as students were boarding. No student touched the gun. Police say when a parent called the police to report it, he lied. And on Monday, trip will likely arranged in the district court. Drivers were banned from transporting children over both districts. His appointment status was not known on Friday. He's worked at the bus service for more than 15 years. But the school administrators say they'll contact the families of students who are on the bus. The school counselors will be made available for students next week. And during that time next week, we will know about what's been happening ever since. But the police say it fell out of the pocket while he was cleaning up the bus after dropping off the students. No one came in contact with or saw the firearm. No one was injured, thank goodness. But what we now know, he was arrested. And I'm glad that things will happen. I hope this guy gets what he deserves. Now another one today. This one from in Thousand Oaks School. Boy cited for bringing a gun to the Thousand Oaks School, showing it to students from the sheriff's office. He was arrested and cited for bringing a handgun to school. As the sheriff said, the resource officers from the police department began investigating the incident, who lives in the Los Angeles area of Monday. That was in California. He was not present. The boy was not present the day the handgun incident was reported. And police said he was not attending the school regularly. According to the sheriff's office, review of the student's social media accounts showed evidence the juvenile had access to a firearm under the age of 18 or 20. That's the age of everyone who runs a weapon. The name of the school was not released, and authorities did not specify the age of the juvenile. A search warrant was served at the boy's home on Thursday, which during a BB gun was seized. Sheriff's officials said the BB gun was similar to the handgun the boy allegedly took to the school. Parents, you need to monitor your child's social media activity and encourage them to make smart choices when they post. Children are encouraged to report the activity and may put others in danger. Exactly. Well, be sure to work with the district attorney's office, with the minor's attorney, and the county judge will determine the most appropriate actions or resources to be provided for the minor. He's a juvenile. Take juvenile people to the jail. How about this one from a couple days ago? This 12-year-old was charged with inducing panic for threatening to shoot up a middle school. This was in Ohio. A 12-year-old boy is facing a felony charge for inducing panic for sending a threatening text to classmates saying he would shoot up the middle school. One of the messages read, "I can be a school threat. I can shoot up those schools tomorrow if I wanted to. I got 5 magazines. I can shoot some teachers and some kids. I will if I go to prison at least. I did a good thing and I got them out of my life." Now, before we continue, this is the quote I'm reading. I'm not suggesting this. Don't. It's just I'm reading the quote. But the police said they were first contacted on Monday by an assistant principal at the middle school. The parents of the students shown the threatening texts that she had received the night before. The officer and the assistant principal met the 12-year-old boy in 6th grade at the school. They found no weapons on him. Then he was suspended, and the parents were contacted. Next day, another student and the parent met with the assistant principal, and the police showed him the second text thread that contained threatening messages. It included a photo of the boy wearing a camouflage vest, holding a semi-automatic weapon. In one message, he came to have a Glock 9mm, and in another he said he would shoot that student first. After the parents of the student decided to press charges, officers went to the boy's house that night and arrested him. SWAT officers and the Columbus police were called out to assist. And there was a letter. I'm not reading the whole letter. But the charges of advocating, menacing, and inducing panic were filed to the Juvenile Division of Franklin County. They've been released to the custody of the parents. Again, text messages. To parents, you need to monitor your child's text messages and make sure to make the right choice when sending it in. That's the same thing with social media. You should not be able to be, your child should not be able to have guns under the age of 18 or 21 or whatever. If your child wants to shoot a gun, okay, but there comes to the price. You should not be taking, your child should not be taking a gun to school. Period. It's against the school rules, let alone against the law. Don't push the point here. Parents, you may think I'm pushing your child here, but I'm not pushing anyone. It's your bad job as the parent. What I'm saying is that parents, you've got to learn to grow a pair and monitor your child. You need to search his bag. You need to make sure that your child is bringing anything. I would do a thorough search on your child's bag every day before he goes to school or before he even walks out the door. Making sure he's had no weapons, nothing. You don't have to do it every day. What I recommend is you do it before he gets on the bus, before he goes to school, or before you take him to school. Search his bag, search his pockets. And it happened on Yahoo News where a student brings gun on the county school campus and faces charges. One student was taken into custody after bringing a weapon on campus, according to the sheriff's office. Again, those parents of the child should have searched his bag. But there's more to this than meets the eye. There's more give and break will return. Vandalism! There's a vandalism that happened in Aransas Pass. Again, graffiti. It's another word. It's another term of vandalism. There's no excuse. It's vandalism. Something I hate. Someone is spray painting the word power over the city and then going back out to the property owner has removed it. Seriously. I hate vandalism. People destroying someone else's property, spraying graffiti. That's vandalism. And there's a lot of vandalism happening in our schools, but since the pandemic, there's still a lot of vandalism of personal property. Like today, there was a vandalism at Lotus High School that causes thousands of dollars in damage. No suspect was identified and an officer is investigating. Roll lanes with spray painted on it, and it's vandalism. Destruction of school property. The district can decide to press charges. That's the whole thing. How about this one? Not only was it vandalism, there was a fight that happened in Ridgewood, New Jersey. The superintendent sent security companies been hired to protocol school grounds Friday and Saturday evenings and will notify the police department should there be any large gatherings. After recent reports, the school district was closed because of the vandalism. Again, vandalism. I hate it. How about another one from today? Unruly teens, vandalism forced Ridgefield to close the school. Ultimate law enforcement agencies were called to the high school Saturday where a group of teenagers was gathered. Then on Sunday, police found vandalism that included graffiti and overturned portable toilets about 2:45. There was also a fight over the weekend, according to publication. Vandalism and a fight. And something good. Really good. There's a new fence to stop vandalism at a primary school. That's good. That'll keep the vandals out. Personal property. Do that in the school, and basically what could really happen is the district can decide to press charges of vandalism. And the Chicago Tribune reports vandals were at the playground. That's why I'm having email alerts on my Gmail to talk about these vandals. And even 4 days ago, there was another vandalism in elementary school. And this one, there was from Facts.com, another vandalism. KY3, a high school football field. Vandalism. I hate it. And how about this one? The district dress code debate sparks vandalism at academy at the beach. Again, because of the dress code, they decided to go on for vandalism. You can't combine dress code and vandalism. And because of what she had on, the skirt worn, which resulted in verbal warning for dress code violation, according to the dress code policy, skirts may not be shorter than 4 inches above the knee. But every year there's questions about dress code, but we're not talking about that. There was vandalism. But I don't see any vandalism here. Again, stop with the vandalism. You're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble with the school. The district can decide to press charges, and if you do it outside of school, then the district can decide to press charges. You can't keep hitting the lockers. You cannot be spraying graffiti. That's vandalism. They'll make you clean it up. I mean, spraying graffiti is not art. You may be a talented vandal, you may be a good gangster or someone here, but you're not even a talented vandal. Jeez Louise, stop with all the damn vandalism. We don't need to see any more vandalism. And this one, 3 weeks ago, at Delaware High School, those vandals left behind $31,000 in damages. Broke into school and cost $31,000 in damages. Stop it. We don't need to see a lot of vandalism. Freaking no excuse here. Kicking lockers. Back in April, there was another vandalism. Cameras could potentially help the school's leaders determine who was responsible for the damage. Spraying graffiti. And the cameras. And new cameras about this. We don't need any more of vandalism. Back in a moment. Coming up on Give Me a Break Saturday night, there's going to be a Texas House bill that would ban people from camping in public areas. It creates misdemeanor for camping in public spaces. And also, another bill that would be passed, they would approve a bill that would ban access, that would help with voting. What does that mean? We'll tell you about that on Saturday. Also, we'll give you some Mother's Day ideas that will really help you out. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Give me a break. That's all of this Digital Give Me a Break Friday going to Saturday. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Saturday night. Have a good night, everyone. Take care of yourself and each other. Stay safe. Have a good night.